This is Birthmarks, Roadmap to Your Past Lives from healpastlives.com. Healpastlives.com is the biggest site on past lives, karma, and reincarnation you will find in this lifetime. The past and the present are intertwined when birthmarks are indelibly imprinted onto an individual's physical body. Birthmarks are formed at the site of the past life damage when the individual chooses to reincarnate into a new life. Birthmarks happen when the body has not had enough time between its incarnations to heal completely. So a birthmark is the present trace of past life wound. Birthmarks happen when the mind needs to reconnect with a past life trauma so it can be healed and released. Here are the different types of birthmarks and their probable past life causes. But first, please accept these free gifts from healpastlives.com. Subscribe to our free eZine about karma and reincarnation. Our free eZine, Karmic Insights, is delivered to your email box from Monday to Friday. This list is opt-in only and you can unsubscribe at any time. We will never share, rent, or sell your email address to anyone. Download our free ebook about transcending your karma. This ebook is The Science of Being Great from best-selling author Wallace Wattles, author of The Science of Getting Rich. Download our free eCourse about karma and reincarnation. This eCourse is in ebook form and it is Clear Your Karma in 21 days. It can help you to be happier, healthier, and wealthier, all for free. Unhealed burn mark. This deep red birthmark is the body's way of remembering being burned by fire. The darker the mark, the less the wound has healed karmically. Usually this is because the past life is recent and the related trauma has not been processed. Healed burn mark. This ultra-white birthmark is the body's way of remembering being burned by fire. The lighter the mark, the more the wound has healed karmically. Although it is somewhat healed, there are still lessons to be learned from this old wound. Leprosy patch. This birthmark looks like a wart patch but is not one. It is the body's way of remembering the initial spread of leprosy, as the path always forms on the spot of the first outbreak. Like the plague, leprosy often takes many lives to heal. Single bullet wound. This birthmark was caused by a bullet that entered on the left. Notice the perfectly round pattern on the left compared to the right side. The uneven pattern on the right is the remnant of a related powder burn. This wound tends to be brown. Embedded bullet wound. This birthmark was caused by a bullet that became embedded in the body and part of it. Notice the perfectly round shape of an antique bullet as well as the burn ring around this birthmark. This wound tends to be black. Sunken bullet wound. This birthmark was caused by a bullet that became embedded in the body and part of it. Notice the rounded shape of a blasted antique bullet as well as the deep indentation of this birthmark. This wound tends to be red. Scattered shots. This pattern of marks was produced by sprayed shots, a bunch of bullets shot all at once by an antique gun. The pellets of varying sizes all struck the skin at the same time in a tight pattern. This very common pattern can exist anywhere on the body. Cannon shots. This birthmark is becoming increasingly rare as time passes because cannons are no longer used as weapons. This wound tends to be black as the cannon shot deeply scorched the skin. With each new life, the size of the cannon birthmark shrinks. Poisoned arrow. The birthmark features a central mole with a discolored ring around it and usually comes from past lives. This is how a poisoned arrow wound looked. If the arrow did not kill the person, the poison it was dipped in would do so. Stab wound. The slightly curved birthmark is indicative of a fatal stab wound inflicted by a knife, dagger, or sword. When these appear on the side of the face, as in this case, it was most likely from a sneak attack while sleeping and was undoubtedly fatal. Speared through. Spots on the eye are almost always from being directly punctured there. This was a favorite form of assassination in past lives. It was usually done when the individual slept. It always proved to be fatal because a stab in the eye was a stab to the brain. Scalped. The birthmark features a patch of scalp where the hair cannot grow and a bloody-looking patch appears in its place. This is how the scalp would look after the patch of hair was forcibly removed. This is how the body remembers being scalped in past lives. Botched surgery. In past lives, often the cure for a disorder was worse than the cause. This was especially true of surgeries which were done without anesthesia and often without a clear idea of how to do it. More often than not, past life surgery proved to be fatal. Suicide wound. This birthmark is the kind left when a person commits suicide by shooting a gun into their head. This birthmark is unusual in that it features a red mark which looks like a trail of blood dripping from the point of bullet entry at the top of the head. Plague bubo. This birthmark looks like a wart but is not one. It is the body's way of remembering a bubo from a lifetime during the Black Death, also known as bubonic plague. Living through a pandemic is super stressful and it often takes many lives to heal. Branding mark. In past lives, those who had committed crimes were often branded with a hot iron. This mark is a faded dragon brand which was placed on the back of the neck of Chinese activists and dissidents to mark them as enemies of the state. Slave chains. In past lives, those who were in chains had their skin rubbed raw or was constantly chafing against them. This damage was often so deep that the body would layer the air with calluses as a form of protection that often carries forward as cancer. Remnants of torture. In the past, one of the ancient torture techniques was to place a band or rope around the head and tighten it until the individual confessed or died. Often this torture proved to be fatal as well as leaving a birthmark. So, are you being harmed by your past lives? The past life profile from healpastlives.com can reliably indicate how deeply you are presently affected by your past lives. How you answer the questions in our past life profile reveals exactly how your past lives are affecting you now. To get started, you can receive free information on the past life profile instantly by emailing profile@healpastlives.com. If you are watching this video on the site, you can go to any interior page to click on the past life profile link. If you're watching this video on a service like YouTube, you can click on the link in the video. To subscribe to our free eZine about karma and reincarnation, click on the Karma News link. To download our free ebook on the science of being great, click on the Being Great link. To download our free eCourse on Clear Your Karma in 21 days, click on the Clear Karma link. If you're watching this video on the site, you will need to go to any interior page to click on the links. If you're watching this video on a service like YouTube, you can click on the links in the video. Thanks for watching. Please check out our other videos. Our most popular video, Heal Your Money Karma, contains a powerful mantra which can rewire your DNA to open your mind to attracting lavish money in abundance. Our video on Discover Your Past Lives is an introduction on how to discover the effects of past lives on your life now. Thanks for watching this video. Copyright 2015 Ellen A. Mogensen, Pass Forward, 532 Old Marlton Pike, Fun Life 248, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053 USA. Email to ellen@healpastlives.com.